Hello, I am Ilona, and today I want to talk about owls. Yes, very interesting birds. When you look at them now, you see a fluffy, cute, round, very soft bird. But now imagine if you are some kind of ancient person, and it really doesn't matter. It can be at any time in history before internet, YouTube, Wikipedia, when we can find out information about these birds, about how they sound. Uh, so, from early humans, from hunter gatherers to medieval people, they heard these birds, and often I believe they couldn't even connect that sound to the actual bird. Because yes, you don't see owl at daytime usually. You can see them sometimes, but usually no. And at nighttime, of course, it's dark, so you don't see anything or almost anything. You could see sometimes glowing eyes in the tree or something like that, but you would not necessarily connect the sounds which you hear at night to specific nocturnal animals or birds. And with owls, also, what is interesting, when they fly, you don't hear them usually because they fly very quietly. With other birds, you would hear some kind of wing flapping or something, but owls, this is a different story. And once, a few years ago, for example, we were sitting outside at night, at summer night, near the fire, and then we heard this kind of like scream. I even don't know. That was not a fox. I don't remember now if I heard it flying away or because yes, as I said, owls you wouldn't hear them, so maybe it was a different bird. I don't know. Um, but we concluded that it was some kind of a bird, and actually, it even doesn't matter what kind of a bird. But at that moment, I clearly imagine that even now in modern world, when you are in nature, sometimes you logically know what that most likely yes this was just some kind of animal or bird. But now imagine hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, people sitting near the fire don't really, especially yes, when you sit near the fire, your eyes will not work very good in the darkness. You will not see much more far beyond that fire around you. So there is outside that area where you sit is completely dark, completely. And this is when different kind of imagination starts to work, and sometimes maybe not the best one. Um, you can imagine some kind of demonic creatures screaming, especially yes, uh, how it usually is, how we connect as humans. Darkness, it is always something where something hides, which, yes, it makes sense. Uh, First of all, yes, you don't see, and often, yes, some kind of mm, predator can hide in the darkness and can attack you. So this is something what we have encoded in our DNA. That's why a lot of people are still afraid of dark. So yes, imagine there are different cultures and different traditions. There are these kind of some kind of mythologies about owls, their sounds and everything. But this is what we preserved. But even without knowing these stories which are preserved, you could imagine that in different times, especially hunter-gatherer peoples who lived near forests, not necessarily in the forest, but at that time Europe was very, even now, for example, Latvia, where I'm from, is around half of it is forested. Finland is even more forested. Back then, it was mostly almost forests. And one thing is the daytime with different animals, different sounds. And when you can see at nighttime, it clearly it will be absolutely different. And when you hear this owl screeching or whatever doing, yes, what we know, how we now maybe perceive, even now, yes, what kind of sound, if we think about owl, what kind of sound do we think of? Like some kind of like this hoo hoo sound. So even now, regular person will not know all the sounds owls make. And back then, clearly, they also most likely didn't. Despite yes, they lived more, they were more connected to nature compared to us. But that doesn't mean they knew absolutely everything and there were no mysteries from them. Screaming in the dark, someone flying overhead, like not even flying, you even don't know what it is. This owl, barn owl, this very light looking face, almost like ghost, and their eyes and their face looks kinda human-like, especially if you look at it in a dark from somewhere for maybe brief moment. And I imagine how these light feathered owls, when they sit somewhere and there, when there is full moon and the light reflects of their feathers, well, imagine that probably look really magical. If we talk about hunter gatherers, it's all speculations and mostly based on feelings or how I feel or how I imagine that. But also, I, as a person who literally grew up near to the nature, near to the forest, and yes, I am a descendant of hunter gatherers. I still feel like I have the genetic memory. And yes, I cannot prove anything, but this is how I imagine how it could be. And for me, it really makes sense. But of course, there could be also other ideas, explanations, and everything. Yes, thanks for watching and goodbye.